What is going on YouTube? Espresso Shuckle here, and today we are looking to do as much damage as quickly as possible with this future Paradox team. We have Miraidon, Iron Moth, Iron Treads, Ogerpon, Annihilape, and Tornadus. We have the Tailwind here for Tornadus to speed up everything on the field. We have a Choice Band Annihilape with Close Combat to do some major damage. We have Shadow Claw to just punish Fluttermanes. We have U-Turn to pivot Annihilape out of a stickier situation that it might not necessarily like. And then we have Seed Bomb, which is a random and weird tech that I think could be great for going up against the odd Urshifu Rapid Strike, maybe even some Groudons, Kyogres. The fact that this thing gets some Grass-type coverage is nice because we were originally going to just use the Grass Tera as a defensive Tera to protect us from Spore as well as Rage Powder, but you know what? I'm okay with it having a stab move as well with Seed Bomb, so we do have that. We have Iron Treads here with Bulldoze to slow down the opposing team as well. Now, Miraidon and Iron Moth definitely have to click Protect to make sure they don't get caught up in that and take a speed drops themselves, or rather any speed drops in general from the Bulldoze. But if we can get the Bulldoze off with the Iron Treads and slow down our opponent's side of the field, great. We have high horsepower here to do some decent ground type damage to opposing Miraidon, because Iron Treads is definitely going to have to pull a little bit of some extra weight there to deal with opposing Miraidons. But if we get that high horsepower off into them, great. We have the Tera Ground here to also double the stab on our high horsepower, or just to get a little bit of extra damage off with Bulldoze. We have Knockoff here for some utility of removing items, and then we have Iron Head to also punish Fluttermanes. And the other thing too that I was thinking about with Iron Treads here is when I looked at the matchup between Iron Treads and Chi-Yu, high horsepower on its own isn't quite enough to just knock out a base Chi-Yu, so we're going to have that Tera Ground just to push it over the extra step. So we do have that. We have Ogerpon here for some generic damage with the Ivy Cudgel, which will get boosted up by Tornadus' Rain Dance. So we do have that. We have Follow Me to redirect attacks away from our other Pokemon. We have Horn Leech for some general grass type damage. And then we have Spiky Shield to protect Ogerpon. And then we finally have a different Miraidon set with the Electro Drift, Discharge, and Draco Meteor, joined by Protect and a Life Orb. Now, it's not quite as much damage as a Choice Specs, but we do have a little bit of flexibility here by being able to change our moves. If we click Discharge, well, we don't want to hit our Pokemon, so we can not necessarily have to worry about locking into Discharge. So that's the big thing here. We can click Electro Drift. If we have the Iron Treads on the field next to Miraidon, great. We can also click Discharge, and then that way we can just not hit our own Iron Treads. So we do have that at the end of the day. And if my opponent does bring in, say, a Rillaboom, well, Iron Moth and its Fire Poison combination is just going to be really nice for threatening that Rillaboom. Dodging a Fire type attack by turning it to Terra Fire, well, you have a Sludge Wave. It's going to be a good time. Anyways, let's jump on in to some battles. Alright, we have a Calyrex Ice Rider team with Incineroar, Hydrapple, Iron Hands. That's going to be a little bit scary for my Miraidon. Ursaluna, Blood Moon, and Cresselia. So they definitely have the Trick Room option here between both the Cresselia and the Calyrex. The Incineroar having the Fake Out could be a little bit on the scarier side. But what we could potentially do here is we could lead the Annihilape, and then if they want to lead the Incineroar, well, we have a Choice Banded Annihilape that is now going to get a boost. So there is that. So we do have some extra damage. There's no Amoonguss, which could be nice, so we don't have to worry about Spore under Trick Room. I like the idea of bringing in maybe, say, Ogerpon, and then we can have the Ivy Cudgel if we need it. Iron Treads could be nice here because we can always knock off some items, so maybe we'll bring in the Iron Treads. If we can deny Trick Room, that would be really nice too. So maybe what we'll do is we'll bring Miraidon. We'll bring the... Yeah, I think we'll bring the Iron Moth, and then that way too we can do some major damage. And I think we'll bring the... Ogerpon, and then this way we have some redirection. The big thing here is if we can deny Trick Room, the nice thing here is Miraidon can boost up the Iron Moth. We can go for Sludge Wave, hit the entire field, potentially poison some stuff, which would wear down Cresselia over time. We can also Acid Spray and Electro Drift, which would be nice. And if they lead Incineroar, great. It's actually going to just be Cresselia and Ursaluna Blood Moon, so I don't want to take an Earth Power into Miraidon, but what I could do here is I could go for the Shadow Claw into the Cresselia, or I could just U-turn into it. I really wish I had the... I really wish that I had the Volt Switch still on my Miraidon, not gonna lie. But I think what I can do here is I can go for the... I think I can go for the Electro Drift into Cresselia, just try to take it out. If I live the... even better, they just went Protect. I thought an Earth Power was coming my way, but we're just going to do some major damage to this Cresselia. No big deal here with the Electro Drift. So Survey says, yeah, that's more than half your HP. Annihilape's going to get rid of you. Yeah, so that worked out really nicely here thanks to the U-turn off of Annihilape. So U-turn is going to pick that off. And now we can switch in another Pokemon, and Annihilape doesn't have to worry about being locked into, say, Shadow Claw. So I think what we can do here is we can bring in the Iron Moth. Now, two things are definitely scared of the Earth Power off of the Blood Moon. But what I could do here, and if they bring Incineroar, and that's not going to be great for me, but if they bring in Incineroar, that means no Trick Room. I could always protect the Iron Leaves, so... Or not the Iron Leaves, the Iron Moth. So there is that. So we do have that working in our favor. We have a defense boost into Iron Moth, which is not going to help with the Blood Moon, but what I could do is I could always go for Heat Wave. I could go Heat Wave and Electro Drift and try to get rid of the Calyrex. Now the Calyrex might protect here, and if they do, that's not the greatest for me, but what I could do too is I could Acid Spray, potentially. I think the Calyrex is holding the Clear Amulet, though. So, I think I Heat Wave, and we know the Ursaluna just protected. I kind of want to hit them with a Draco Meteor. Not gonna lie, I think the Calyrex protects this turn. So, I think I'm going to Heat Wave and Draco Meteor. There's the Tera, so Calyrex might be turning into something that might resist the Heat Wave too. So it's actually going to be the Ursaluna. So they're going for damage now, and it's going to be Tera Normal. So I could have went Tera Ground and Discharged to hit both of these things, but at the same time, I'd rather just try to get the Ursaluna off the field. That's good damage into Calyrex too. Calyrex is a very bulky Pokemon, so we're going to just get rid of Ursaluna right out of the gate. Iron Moth is going to not appreciate a Glacial Lance, but if it's Trick Room, I don't have to necessarily worry about that. High Horsepower would be really bad in Iron Moth, too. Yeah, case in point. But no Trick Room, that's great. We do still have the Electric Terrain up on the field. What I could do is I could go for Annihilape and Shadow Claw. Iron Hands is coming in here, which not the greatest for Annihilape, but at the same time, I'm Choice Banded Annihilape. I think what I would love to do is I'd love to try to Shadow Claw the Calyrex and switch Ogerpon in, and then this way I can always redirect attacks away from Annihilape from Iron Hands. So I think we reset our special attack from the Draco Meteor with the Miraidon, and if Calyrex doesn't protect, Annihilape is going to have a very good time. And plus, Iron Hands has to hit me with something that isn't called Drain Punch, which is going to be very fortunate. So there is that at the end of the day. So I think I'm going to be all right. So if they protect, no big deal. If they don't protect, great. I'm locked into Shadow Claw now, which, you know what, I don't dislike that for Annihilape. How much is a Wild Charge going to do to me, though? That's the only other problem. No, it's Supercell Slam. Okay. That's a lot. Okay, but, silver lining. Supercell Slam damages the user when you miss. So, in theory, I think what I do is I pop the Tera Electric on Miraidon. I think I Discharge. I think I Spiky Shield with Ogerpon. Or I just go for the Electro Drift. Yeah, I think I just go for the Electro Drift into Calyrex. That should be more than enough damage. And I think I just Horn Leech into the Iron Hands. Yeah, I can try to get a little bit of HP back with Ogerpon if they go for the Supercell Slam into me, which should be alright. Now, I don't reset the electric terrain, so that means my Quark Drive is going to, or rather their Quark Drive is going to wear off, and my Hadron Engine is going to wear off too. But at the end of the day, that's probably for the best. We have a very good position here with the fact that there's no Trick Room. The Calyrex is only at +1 attack from hitting the Iron Moth. They left Miraidon alone, which honestly, I would have gone for the Glacial Lance or the Trick Room. I think Trick Room probably would have been the safer bet. Maybe even switching out Ursaluna would have been nice. Because Iron Hands would have been very good under Trick Room as well. But we're going to just nail Calyrex, and now we can just try to just wail on the Iron Hands and go from there, and maybe I get lucky. Maybe I dodge a Supercell Slam. If it's a Drain Punch into Miraidon, not the greatest. Oh yeah, the other thing too is I'm faster than the Iron Hands, so... Oh! Thank you, Ogerpon. Thank you. Alright. Ogerpon just dodges that, so we're just gonna Electro Drift into the Iron Hands, and we'll bonk him. We'll bonk him with the Cudgel. And the battle is cancelled, yeah. That is really unfortunate about the Supercell Slam. And to be honest, that's honestly why I don't run it myself. I really don't like the idea of taking that much recoil. Now, would that have been nice for Annihilape? If, absolutely, definitely. And it definitely does help Ogerpon. Yeah, Ogerpon wouldn't appreciate that. But the nice thing here is at least we got the dodge that and get around the Iron Hands that way. So very happy about how that played out. Good game tonight. All right, we have a Kyogre team here with Raichu, Walking Wake, Tornadus, Rillaboom, and Fluttermane. So, Electric Terrain is going to be really nice for Miraidon, but a Fake Out off the Raichu could be really unfortunate. I do like the Iron Tread's potential lead, especially with the Quark Drive boosting up my speed. But if they lead Rillaboom, that could be a little bit unfortunate for me. I think I'm going to bring Torn. I think I'm going to bring Torn and Iron Treads here. And then this way, if they lead Rillaboom, I could always go for a little bit of damage into them. I'm Assault Vested on Iron Treads, so that's not the greatest. Actually, you know what? I like the idea of Torn Iron Moth. We'll bring the Iron Treads in the back because we can punish that Fluttermane with the Iron Head. High Horsepower could be really nice. Knockoff could be really nice. I think we bring Miraidon in the back. And then this way, if we trade Tailwinds, not the worst thing imaginable. And I can always protect with Iron Moth. I didn't see an Urshifu, so that means I do have the ability to protect my Pokemon, which is going to be really nice. And what we might see... I love that Ursaluna trainer card. What we might even see, too, is we might see a Rillaboom U-turn. Kyogre Torn. Alright, so not the worst thing imaginable. I think what we could do here is we can Tailwind, and I think we protect the Iron Moth here. A Sludge Wave could be really nice, and if my opponent wants to go Tera Grass on the Kyogre, that's not the worst thing imaginable to me, because I can always go Sludge Wave with Iron Moth. Iron Moth is going to outspeed the Kyogre, which is going to be great. I think this is a really good position for Miraidon. Sucks to be Tornadus, because Tornadus is eating this. Oh, Tornadus survived. Okay. Not what I was expecting there. But I'm going to Bleak Wind Storm, and... yeah. I actually got to compare my speed right here, because my Iron Moth might be faster than my Torn. 136. Oh, yeah, you were definitely faster. That's not great. Okay. Do I want to go Tera Steel? I kind of do. We're going to Tera Steel and Bleak Wind, and we're going to Sludge Wave. This is so bad, but you know what? I am drastically faster than that Kyogre, unless it's Scar. So, if I get this Sludge Wave off, and I get to live, and get the Bleak Wind, great. No, Iron Moth is just going to take all that damage. That was a crit, too. That's not great. But, silver lining. I should still be moving before Kyogre, so I should get the Sludge Wave off. So there is at least the Sludge Wave right there. That looks like it might be Assault Vest Kyogre. I can safely Discharge next to Iron Treads, so we do have that. That Tornadus was faster than mine, so I'm a bulkier Torn, which makes me think maybe it is a... It might be a speed EV'd Torn, which, you know what? Iron Treads getting a little bit of damage into Kyogre might not be the worst thing imaginable, especially with a knockoff. I think that Kyogre is Assault Vested, so I kind of want to Discharge, and I want to knock off into the Kyogre slot. If they protect, great. They're not going to. And it was indeed the Assault Vest, so let's go. Let's go, Miraidon. Discharge. You took half my field, I take half your field. And now I have a restricted legendary, and you don't. So, that's nice. Alright. Rillaboom could be really bad, though, not gonna lie. But Draco Meteor into Rillaboom could be really nice. Yeah. Here comes the Raichu, so you know what? I don't have to worry about my electric type attacks getting redirected. Fluttermane is coming in here, so you know what? Iron Head into Fluttermane looks really good off the Iron Treads. They're booster energy, but with the Assault Vest, I should be okay with Iron Treads here. Oh, you know what? They can Fake Out, though. That's the other thing. But do I think they would Fake Out the Iron Treads, or do I think they would Fake Out the Miraidon? I'm going to protect Miraidon just in case, and I'm just going to Iron Head the Fluttermane. Now, here comes the Tera. It's going to be into Raichu, so if this is Tera Fairy, I can't hit it. Okay. That's really unfortunate for Miraidon, but if I don't lose Iron Treads, great. I just need to hit this thing, and it was booster energy, so with the Quark Drive and Assault Vest, I might be able to live. Oh, I might be. They actually did Fake Out the Iron Treads. Alright, so... Oh, I took that no problem at all. Oh, I had Tailwind too. That would have been really nice. Actually, they had Tailwind too. It didn't matter. We'll Discharge. And we'll Iron Head into the Fluttermane. And this way, too, we don't knock out the Fluttermane, but we do... Ooh, there's an Icy Wind. But I don't think the Raichu can hit Iron Treads. Like, I think Iron Treads is the win con here. I just need to hit... Ooh, Electro Web. Okay, you really don't want Miraidon getting any speed, but I can't hit you. I cannot hit you at all. So... what I can do is I can Iron Head into the Raichu. I'm only at -1 speed with Iron Treads because of the Icy Wind. The rain is gone. I think I just protect, and I think I just Iron Head into the Raichu. And if this is sashed, great. Miraidon can't do anything. I just need to keep Iron Treads alive. There's an Electro Web, great. Great. I think that's all they can do, too. So, we might be alright. Yeah, I think we just clean up right here. There's the Focus Sash. They also revealed that they're slower than me. Or, no, they were faster than me. I'm talking a bunch of gobbledygook. But anyways, I just click Protect with Miraidon again, and I just click the Iron Head with the Iron Treads. And they click Protect. Okay. Okay, they're just going to do that. You know what? That's fine. I got the double. That's something. Yeah, okay. They haven't shown anything that they can hit me with the Iron... yeah, they haven't shown anything that they can hit Iron Treads. So, I guess all I do here is I just click Draco Meteor, even though it can't do anything. So I don't have to worry about powering up the Raichu on the off chance that they do have something. So there's the Nuzzle. That's not really going to help them. They really needed to hit the Iron Treads, which I think we both just hit the point where we couldn't hit each other, really. Like, they couldn't... I don't think they could have hit Iron Treads. They had the Fake Out, they had Nuzzle, they had Electro Weapon Protect. Yeah, they couldn't hit the Iron Treads at all, so that's all I really needed. Like, Miraidon couldn't hit them, but at the end of the day, Iron Treads was the MVP. Like, as soon as we got rid of that Flutter Mane, that was really good for Iron Treads. I'm really happy about that. The Tera Steel burning that was really stupid on my end, but it is what it is at the end of the day. Because the Torn was faster than me, unfortunately. But what I probably could have did was, like, probably could have just clicked Protect, kept Torn around, and then went for that. But being able to be neutral to the Flutter Mane, like, I still would have been to Shadow Ball, but I would have been opening myself up to the Fairy type attack, so... really, not using my Tera there was pretty good at the end of the day for my Iron Treads. Anyways, good game to my opponent. All right, we have a Lugia team here with Ceruledge, Grimmsnarl, Suicune. Ooh, we have Armarouge as well, and Rillaboom. So they have Terrain, they have Prankster. That's not great for Miraidon, but I do have the power of my Iron Moth and Sludge Wave, because I count 2 Pokemon for sure that do not appreciate that. And if Lugia's Tera Fairy, it's not going to appreciate that either. And I really like the idea of having that Sludge Wave. So we do have that. I think we're going to bring Annihilape and Iron Leaves. Or not Iron Leaves. I keep saying Iron Leaves, but Iron Moth. We're going to bring Iron Moth. We're going to bring the Miraidon, and I don't think we bring Torn. I think we bring the Iron Treads. And then that way, too, we have some Steel-type coverage. Now, there are 2 Fire types on the team, so maybe Ogerpon might be for the best. Yeah, I kind of like bringing the Ogerpon instead. So, we'll do that. We'll bring the Miraidon in the back, and then this way we can switch in Miraidon if we need it. So, there is that. Also, I really don't know why I keep saying Iron Leaves instead of Iron Moth. I just did film my Ho-Oh video, and I did just catch it after when I was just putting the files into the same folder on my computer that I left the Ho-Oh image up in the corner of the intro. So, if you're wondering, that's why it's there. Yeah, I might just pop the Miraidon just over it. Yeah, I might do something like that. I don't know. But anyways, today has been a day, that's for sure. But anyways, let's see how we go. What's it going to be? Is it going to be Grimmsnarl as part of the lead? It's going to be Lugia Grimmsnarl. Okay, you know what? That's fine. I kind of like the idea of going for a U-turn into the... I like going for a U-turn into the Grimm or the Lugia here. Getting the U-turn off into the Lugia could be nice, because then that way we get a little bit of chip damage into it as well. If it's leftovers, then I don't have to worry about, if there's not that much damage into it, about, you know, remaking multi-scale. Yeah. Talking is hard. But anyways, if Lugia just protects, this is going to look really stupid on my end. But anyways, we're going to take a Sucker Punch, and you know what? I can live with that, and that's also a really good thing to know that this thing does have the Sucker Punch. So we do get the damage off into both the Lugia and the... Well, we get the damage off of both of them. But anyways, I think we bring in the Miraidon, and then that way we can Discharge. We could pop the Tera Ground on Iron Moth. and then try to soften up Grimmsnarl. Or we go for another Acid Spray. Yeah, I don't mind that. I also don't mind having my Electric Seed boost me up, because now that I know that this thing does have the Sucker Punch, I don't really like that for the priority. They're at -1 special defense now, which is nice too, so I do like that. And we did see the... Oh, here we go. We get to see the leftovers, so we don't have to worry about it being Clear Amulet or Covert Cloak, so we could potentially pick up the Paralysis with Discharge. We're going to pop the Tera Ground. I think we're going to Acid Spray into the Grimmsnarl, and I think we're just going to Discharge and hit the entire field. If we pick up the Paralysis into Grimmsnarl, that would be just wonderful. Yeah, so far we've only seen Sucker Punch. I would assume we've got maybe Screens and Spirit Break, or maybe we have Scary Face or Fake Tears off of Grimmsnarl. Lugia is not the heaviest hitting special attacker out there, so what we might even see is we might see a Fake Tears off Grimmsnarl to make sure that Earth Power or Aeroblast do way more damage. So we're going to see the Tera off of the Lugia, and it is Tera Steel. Alright, so I feel good about going for the Acid Spray into the Grimmsnarl instead now. So we might see Lugia hang in there now, which is going to be unfortunate, but I do have Heat Wave, so I don't mind getting the damage off into both of these. They might even just go for another Calm Mind just to try to get the damage off with Lugia in the late game. So we're going to get rid of Grimmsnarl. We pick up the Para into Lugia. That's going to be very hopeful for our tidings. Yeah, that's very helpful at the end of the day too. So I'm very hopeful for that. We're just going to see it recover. Great. What I could do, if my opponent doesn't bring a Rillaboom in, is I could go for another Discharge and maybe a Heat Wave this time. I did make Iron Moth weaker to Rillaboom, which could be a problem in the long run, and there is the Rillaboom. So, alright, so I do have a +1 into my defense, so I am definitely going to be faster than the Lugia. I think what I would like to do is I would like to attempt a Heat Wave, and I would love to go for another Discharge. We saw how much damage that did to the Lugia, and the nice thing here is Rillaboom can only Grassy Glide or Fake Out one of these two Pokemon, so that could be really nice at the end of the day. A Calm Mind could be really bad for me, but they left me alone, so I think they go for the Iron Moth since I do have the Heat Wave option. So I take a critical hit off that, which is not great by any means, but if Lugia stays paralyzed, that's great, and we do get the Paralysis off into Rillaboom, so Miraidon is pulling its weight here for sure. And Lugia gets parried. Nice. Alright, so I think what I'm going to do is, based off the amount of damage we saw the Fake Out do, I mean, even though it was a crit, I think I Electro Drift into the Lugia here, just to keep that thing in a little bit more of a manageable position. And the other thing, though, is it is Tera Steel. So what I could do is I could always bring Annihilape in later. I'm going to Protect, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to Electro Drift into the Lugia. So this way, too, if I'm worried about a Grassy Glide, I can always just try to dodge it with a Switch as well. So I really want to get this Lugia off the field here. They might go for a Recover. They might go for some damage. If Miraidon goes down here, it's not the end of the world, because both of my opponent's Pokemon are considerably slower. So Annihilape would be able to come in and clean up. And we do see the Para on the Lugia again. If I can get lucky with the Para into Rillaboom, which I feel like I'm really gambling on that, but if I can get that, that'd be great. Let's see, how many turns of Grassy Terrain? We have 3 more turns of that, which that's disgusting, but I think I'm going to switch the Iron Moth out. I think I'm going to bring in the Ogerpon. In this way, too, I'm neutral to the Grassy Glide, and I can always try to drop a Draco Meteor onto the Rillaboom. I want to hit that Lugia with another Electro Drift just to keep it manageable. Like, if they go for damage into Miraidon, I'm okay with that, because they're only at +1 special attack. They're at -1 special defense with the light screen. We get the para into the Rillaboom. So the nice thing here is Ogerpon gets to come in safely. We get to hit the Lugia for the knockout right there. Which, now what I kind of want to do is I kind of want to shift gears and just try to focus on the Rillaboom. A Draco Meteor into that thing could be really nice. Yeah, that could be nice too. They can't switch out the... At least I don't think they can. You know what? A Discharge could be nice here too. Suicune's coming in here. They've burned their Tera Steel. Yeah, we've knocked out the Grimmsnarl already, so I think I just Spiky Shield, and I think I just go for the Discharge here. Get some big damage into Suicune. Suicune might... and they do that too. I was going to say, Suicune might go for Tailwind or Calm Mind. But... yeah, okay, I'm very happy with how that plays out. That's a relatively quick game, considering Lugia has the potential to drag out its games. So, very happy that we picked up the para. We got really lucky for sure. We had Lugia miss 2 turns, and we had Rillaboom miss a turn, and that's why I really like running Discharge and not being able to go for Tera. The Iron Moth didn't really get to do a whole lot, but the double Acid Spray was kind of what it was there for, so I'm very happy that we get to showcase that, and we also got the Tera off into Iron Moth, so I'm very happy with how that played out. So anyways, good game to my opponent. Hey, thank you guys so much for checking out this future Paradox team in action. Kind of a little bit weird as a Scarlet player playing with the Violet Paradox Pokemon, but I am very happy with how Iron Moth and Iron Treads played out for sure. And Miraidon did tremendous amounts of work with its Discharge next to both of these Pokemon, since we were able to go for the Tera Ground on the Iron Moth, and the Iron Treads is just naturally a ground type to begin with. So we ended up getting major amounts of damage into my opponent's teams with Discharge for sure. We ended up playing up against Calyrex Ice Rider, as well as Kyogre and even Lugia, and we made very quick work of that Lugia. Even though my opponent did have a light screen, we were able to go for an Acid Spray with the Iron Moth, which my opponent wasn't necessarily expecting, because the following turn they popped Tera Steel on it, which just opened them up to a close combat off of my Annihilape if I had gotten Annihilape onto the field, and I was very prepared for that last match in particular to get a little bit on the rougher side, but the RNG was definitely on my side of the match, because we ended up having Lugia miss a couple of turns. We had Rillaboom miss a turn, especially after Iron Moth was a ground type and that Rillaboom came in, so that worked out nice. They went for a Fake Out instead of a Grassy Glide, and Miraidon just ended up picking up the Paralysis into the Rillaboom after already picking up the Paralysis into the Lugia, and Electro Drift was able to finish it off. And then as far as the Kyogre team goes, we made a really dumb idea to click Tera Steel on my Tornadus next to Sludge Wave off of my Iron Moth in front of a Kyogre, but it kind of worked out that I ended up getting my Miraidon and Iron Treads in for free at the same time. We were able to start clicking Discharge and just doing as much damage with Miraidon as possible, and then the Iron Treads had to finish off the Raichu since it was Tera Fairy with Lightning Rod, which meant Miraidon had no means of being able to hit that, so that was a thing. But we were able to just knock out the Raichu with 2 Iron Heads, and we were also able to basically come very close to one-shotting that Fluttermane. Wasn't quite enough to knock it out, but Miraidon was able to, you guessed it, Discharge, or rather, you watched it. You didn't have to guess it there. And then with the Calyrex Ice Rider team, my opponent had Cresselia, which we just made very quick work of, and despite thinking an Earth Power was coming off the Ursaluna, they went for Protect, so Miraidon and Annihilape were just able to just do so much raw damage to that, and then Iron Moth came in and was able to threaten my opponent just a smidge. We didn't really get to do much with the Iron Moth because the Iron Moth took a high horsepower, but we were able to do some decent damage to the Terra Normal Ursaluna Blood Moon with a Heat Wave, and Miraidon was able to just clean up that Calyrex Ice Rider. So very happy about how the team played out. I think what I'm probably going to do too as well is I'm probably going to play with this team just a little bit more, try to get a feel for it, and maybe switch in a few more of the Violet Paradox Pokemon, and then eventually I'm going to switch gears, and then between Groudon and Koraidon, feature some of these Scarlet Paradox Pokemon as well. So we might do something like that, and eventually I'm going to do Kyurem Black. So I don't know when I'm going to do Kyurem Black. I've been trying to build a team for it for a while now, but anyways, I'm very happy with how the Miraidon team here played out. I mean, it's Miraidon. Miraidon is always going to be strong as far as I'm concerned. And you guys got a little bit of groundwork for what I'm planning on doing in the future. Also, I'm planning on doing Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina Origin, as well as Giratina Altered. So plenty of stuff to come back to, that's for sure. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit a like button if you enjoyed the team, and maybe consider subscribing as well. And if you're already here and you enjoyed the team, be sure to let me know what you think of the team as well. And I mean, I guess that also applies if you're new to the channel too. But anyways, I've rambled on long enough. See you next time.